What's up, everyone? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm the Croc Nick, and I have an album review for you. This, once again, has been brought to us courtesy of our friends at Screaming Toilet. Again, it is a fun pop culture related site full of reviews on music, toys, movies, TV shows, you name it. There's even a podcast. There is a link below in the description. Definitely check out the site. So today I'm bringing something a little bit different. This is a demo review, actually. I'm going over Feaces Christ's demo Eat Shit and Die. Now, this originally came out on the 14th of October last year on Russell Records, but this is actually part of a reissue series on FDA Records, and this reissue came out on the 19th of June of this year. So, kind of a cool thing that FDA Records is doing. They're just reissuing demos for underground bands, which I'm all for. I think that's a really cool idea. Now, this band formed in 2018 in Germany. They are a three-piece death metal slash crust punk slash D-beat band. It's kind of a mix of all those things. And this is pretty much all things Sweden, I guess. The guitar tone on here screams Swedish death metal, a la, Nihilist, Dismember, Entombed, all that fun stuff. But musically, it really hammers like D-beat, like Doom or Dysphere, and it has a punk energy throughout it. Now, this is technically considered death metal, but there is a lot more to it. Again, the D-beat side, and there are even some flat-out punk tracks on here. The songs Charlie Had Kids and Reverse Burial, which some of these song titles are kind of odd, but this is a band called Feaces Christ, so we're going to get that. Definitely sound a little bit more punk. Now, Reverse Burial just has like sort of a punk section where the more death metal tremolo switches over to kind of a more upbeat, kind of fun punky sound. And it's kind of cool to hear that contrast between that really raw, almost kind of like static snarl of a guitar tone and these kind of upbeat, kind of like Ramones or like, Black Flag sort of punk riffs. And then actually hear a full-on song that is straight up punk, Charlie Had Kids, which is just about a minute long and is pretty much just a punk song. It's a punk song flat out. Really has no death metal aspects other than the guitar tone and the vocals, but everything about the musical structure of it is a flat out punk song. Now, plenty of other stuff on here just screams like old school, like groovy, D-beat driven death metal. Spitbath, which is disgusting when you really think about it, is pretty much straight up Dismember worship. It is driven by a D-beat chug. The vocals are over the top, but in sort of a really cool way. Like, they're just, just hamming it up for the fun of the album. And I mean, again, this is a band called Feaces Christ. If you're not having fun and your band's name is Feaces Christ, you're doing it wrong. But Spitbath also has like a little bit of death and roll mixed in with that sort of like autopsy like sort of feel to it. So you get like a little bit of like Wolverine blues along with, Severed Survival. And then Post-Mortal Romeo actually brings in some Blacken elements. I want to say this actually sounds more like a Dark Throne song, like a little bit later Dark Throne, or even like, their punk years around like Circle the Wagons. It really has just sort of this blackened tinge to it. The tremolo sounds a little bit more haunting and creepy. And they do splash in some cool horror movie samples, which one of them sounded familiar. I couldn't place the opening one, but it definitely adds a bit of atmosphere to it. Now, when it comes down to production, I'm not going to hammer it too much because it is just a demo, and I don't think they did much in the way of remastering to it. But for as heavy as they wanted to go on this, and it screams like it should be a lot heavier, but it's missing a lot of bass on it. So I think the bass definitely needs to come up, and I think that snare needs to be a little bit louder. But other than that, I love the gritty overall feel of this. And this is a really short album. It really doesn't go like much past like the 20-minute mark, I believe, if that. But it's pure fun throughout, and I think that's the one thing they were going for on here. And I don't know, the punk tracks kind of threw me off a little bit, but I like when the punk is mixed with death metal and that little hint of black metal in there. And the over-the-top nature and sort of ridiculous tongue-in-cheek horror elements just really appealed to me. So overall, I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I really dug this, and as far as a demo goes, I think this is one of those, you know, let's get something out there and see who picks us up. Pick these guys up, sign them. I want to hear a full length of this stuff, because I think with like some production tweaking, these guys have the songwriting talent, and I'm kind of curious what all they throw in for a full length, because this was a lot of fun to listen to. So if you're looking for something raw, gritty, fiercely underground, definitely check this out, because this was a good time. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. Catch you guys later.